Years ago, when my children were still young and in grade school, we had a day that changed our lives forever. It started like any other. I picked up my 3 kids from school in our '77 T-top Camaro. But as we headed home, the sunny California skies suddenly darkened, and a heavy rain began to fall, a rare sight for us. We approached a red light, waiting to make a left turn onto a road with a steep hill. This road had 2 lanes in each direction, separated by a center divider. As we turned, I felt the car begin to hydroplane. The steering wheel started pulling under my grip. Looking in my mirrors, I saw other cars losing control, some spinning off the road into ditches, others skidding into a nearby field. Amid the chaos, I suddenly heard a calm, soft male voice. It said,
"Let go. Let God. Let go. Let God."
I was startled. At the time, I was a Sunday school teacher and had just taught a lesson on trusting God. But in that moment, it was hard to trust. My kids were in the car. Then, the voice came again, louder but still calm. "Let go. Let God." My teenage son grabbed the handlebar, shouting, "What do you mean you're going to let go?" But the voice spoke again, this time with urgency.
"Trust me. Let go. Let God."
With a deep breath, I whispered, "God, I trust you." And I let go. The car spun. We were going in reverse down the hill. I could see the headlights of the cars behind us through the windshield. Suddenly, the car hit the center divider, flew through the air, and landed in the mud with a heavy thud, nestled perfectly between 2 small trees. As I sat there, thanking God, I noticed more cars losing control. I knew we had to get to safety. Then, a white van appeared. The man driving was dressed head to toe in white, jacket, shirt, tie, and pants. He rolled down his window and said, "I've been sent to get you and take you wherever you need to go." My son hesitated, whispering, "Mom, he's a stranger." But something about the man felt divine. There was a calm, warm peace in his presence. We climbed into his van, drenched in rain and mud. I apologized for ruining his spotless interior, but he just smiled and said, "Don't worry, I've been sent for you." The man drove us home, safe and sound. I thanked him and asked for his name and the name of his ministry, but I couldn't find him later. It was as if he didn't exist. When my husband and I returned with a tow truck to retrieve the car, we were shocked. The Camaro started up without issue and didn't have a single scratch. To this day, my children and I remember that miraculous event. I truly believe that man was an angel sent by God. I thought I had faith before that day, but in that moment, I understood what it truly meant to trust God completely. God and his angels are real. They show up in ways we might not expect.
I've been very hesitant to share this and have only told 2 or 3 people in my life. I don't have any pictures or proof, so you'll have to decide whether to believe me or not. But I think some of you may enjoy the story regardless. It is a true one. This happened about 7 years ago. I was by myself, driving to a friend's house around 11 p.m. I was on a back road that ran alongside the interstate. There was rarely any traffic on this road, though cars occasionally passed through. As I was driving my minivan, I noticed 2 cars ahead of me racing, weaving in and out of lanes, and using my lane to pass each other. At first, I figured they'd see me and move back into their own lane, at least long enough to pass me. But as I approached a curve, I realized one of the cars wasn't going to move. I don't know if the driver didn't see me, didn't have time to react, or simply didn't care, but they stayed in my lane. That's when it hit me. I was about to be in a head-on collision with a car going at least 80 to 90 miles per hour. There was no time to react. I gripped the steering wheel, closed my eyes, and braced myself for the impact. But nothing happened. When I opened my eyes, my heart was racing, and I was in complete shock. My minivan was parked perfectly on the side of the road, untouched and safe. How I got there, I'll never know. It wasn't anything I did. I didn't have time to even think, let alone steer. In a panic, I called my husband to tell him what had just happened. I spent the rest of the night trying to figure out a logical explanation, but to this day, I still can't. Was it a glitch, a guardian angel, or God? I don't know. All I know is that I shouldn't be here to tell this story. Yet, here I am.
A few months ago, my partner and I were driving down a quiet country lane near our home, just a few seconds after he turned off the traction control, planning to drive fast and a little recklessly. A strange white light appeared in the middle of the road, about 300 yards ahead of us. The light was roughly 5 to 6 feet tall and about 2 feet wide, shaped like an oval. It looked almost like the reflection you might see when headlights hit a street sign. But there were no signs or reflective surfaces nearby. It was bright and white, yet it didn't illuminate anything around it the way a normal light would. As we approached, my partner slowed down. The light remained in the center of the road, slowly moving toward us. I asked, "What is that?" My partner looked at me wide-eyed and asked, "You see it too?" We continued cautiously toward the light, but just as we got close, it suddenly vanished, disappearing either through or over the car. We were both shaken, but kept driving. A few minutes later, as we rounded a corner, we saw a massive tree lying across the road. Several people were gathered around it. They told us the tree had fallen no more than a minute before we arrived. Had we been driving any faster, we might have been under that tree or crashed into it. To this day, I believe that light was some sort of angel or guardian, warning us to slow down and ultimately saving our lives that night. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.